Well, welcome. Thank you all for joining. I'm going to get my wires uncrossed here. Um, Thank you for coming to the Dairyland Sports Lunch and Learn. We are extremely excited to have you guys here. We know it's a busy day for many of you, so thank you for taking the time to come out and learn about adaptive sports, because that's no surprise our passion here. I'm Jake. I'm a executive director for Dairyland Sports. We founded the organization back in 2017, which seems like forever ago at this point. I myself am a founder of Dairyland Sports, along with Deb Jenks hanging out over here. Deb, raise your hand. As well as Brandon Holstein, who's been with us for a very long time as well. So we've got some team members here. Austin Shavank is hiding somewhere over there. Say hi, Austin. Austin's our director of programming. He does a lot of the on-the-ground work for training and programming for our athletes locally here in Madison. We've also got Stephanie Mueller hanging out. There she is. Wonderful. Stephanie is on our board of directors as well, and treasurer. So just wanted to first and foremost say thank you to my team personally for being here, for putting the time in, for always pushing to make sure that we get stuff done. So we are here because we have received a very, very generous donation from the Hartford Insurance in partnership with Move United. We've got a bunch of folks from the Hartford and Move United hanging around today. So if you have a chance to network with them, please reach out, talk to them, engage with them. We would not be here right now doing this event without them. And the reason we're here is because we received a grant from the Hartford in the amounts of $30,000, which is quite significant for our program. Yeah, round of applause. Give it up. And for a relatively young organization, I think today marks a landmark day in our ability to be able to provide programming in the way that we see fit for our local athletes, for those who have an interest but haven't had an opportunity to use equipment. We'll talk about some of the pricing of this equipment and why it is a barrier to participating in sport and fitness. But here at Dairyland Sports, we're trying to build a culture that is inclusive and diverse, and making sure that we have equitable access to sports for individuals of all physical abilities. So, without further ado, I just want to say thank you to the Hartford and Move United for this very generous donation. You will see almost all this equipment in front of you, all of it in front of you, was donated by them. We will have an opportunity to break it down, and you all can try it out and learn. But what you see, plus some in our storage unit still, is incredibly rewarding for our program. So thank you for coming out and joining us. And with that, I do want to turn the mic over to U.S. Paralympian, Wisconsin native, and absolute wonderful human, Haley Dans. Haley, come on out.
I shocked you. Thanks, Jake. Hello. My name's Haley Dans. I grew up just down the road in Wauwatosa, and so it's super nice to be back here in Wisconsin. I currently live in Colorado, and so this was a really nice opportunity to come home and celebrate this wonderful world that is adaptive sports. So just a little bit about me. I grew up down the road. I was diagnosed with bone cancer in my left leg when I was 12 and ended up losing my leg above the knee 2 years later. And, this was back in the early 2000s. Adaptive sports certainly existed at that time, but it's nothing like what it is today. And, I kind of went through my high school years not even knowing that there was this whole world of adaptive sports out there. Then when I got to college, I kind of fell into an internship at GLASA, which I think some of you are familiar with. They're based in Chicago, another adaptive sports organization. And during my time at GLASA, I grew pretty close with my boss, who was a triathlete. And, she basically told me that, like, if I was going to keep working for her, I was going to need to do a triathlon. And I was like, that's all well and good, but I don't know how to do any of those things. I don't swim, bike, or run. And, I specifically haven't biked or run as an amputee. I needed a special bike to be able to bike as an amputee. I needed a running leg in order to do that. And she said, that's all right. Like, we'll make it happen. And so I was super fortunate to be able to get hooked up with the right equipment, the right people to make that equipment, and really just start that triathlon dream for me. I fell in love with the sport pretty quickly after starting it. The community around it that I found was just so incredible, and I kind of just like kept coming to stuff just because I loved the community so much. And eventually that kind of spiraled into something much, much bigger. I had the opportunity to compete at the 2016 Paralympics in Rio, where I was able to win a silver medal. Yeah. And then went back to the Paralympics in Tokyo in 2021, and defended that silver medal. And so I'm currently out in Colorado training for the next Paralympics, which are in Paris next year. And I'm hoping to, maybe do a little bit better this time. So yeah, but I've been in the adaptive sports world for 12 years now, and I have realized that one of the biggest barriers to entry is just the lack of accessibility to the right equipment. And like I said, I was so fortunate in that I was able to get that pretty early on, and it made it so that this really really big barrier just wasn't really a thing for me. But adaptive equipment is it's not something that you can just get off the shelf. You can't just go to your local running store and like pick out a leg. Can't go to the hockey supply store and just like pick out a sled. It's all super custom, super expensive. On average, adaptive equipment costs about 15 times more than the equipment that you would be using if you did not have a disability. So definitely a big barrier there. Fortunately, I've been able to partner with the Hartford for the last 8 years. And one of the things that really drew me to that relationship is just the Hartford's commitment to making adaptive sports accessible to everyone. They are really just a pioneer in this space and are super passionate about, making donations like this so that more people can have access to this equipment that can be really, really difficult to get. To date, the Hartford has made 5,000 donations of adaptive sports equipment to organizations like this. And I just am so thankful that it's something that I get to be a part of, because I feel like it really helps make my story kind of full circle. So in addition to all of this great program equipment that the Hartford was able to provide, we also have a couple of individual donations. And yeah, this is kind of a little surprise. So, Hayden Smith, you in the house? Can you come up here for a sec?
Yeah.
Hello. So, what's your sport?
With hockey.
Can you tell us a little bit about the equipment that you use?
So for sled hockey, you obviously need a sled, but you also need a lot of other equipment, like a helmet and other protective gear, which is not cheap. And sled hockey is really important to me. I really enjoy getting on the ice and being with other people that can relate and being able to compete.
We have a little surprise for Hayden. Um, if I may have my little helper come on out, we've got some hockey gear for you. We also have a custom sled that is being shipped here literally right now. But do we have the demo so that everyone can see what it looks like? Yeah, behind the table. Um, so yeah, this is the sled that Hayden mentioned. Yeah, this is like what goes on the ice. It's a custom piece of equipment, and Hayden, you've got your very own custom one coming your way, in addition to all the gear that you need. So, on behalf of the Hartford,
I would just like to say thank you for the equipment.
So I have to add too. Hayden is an OG. I think that's a current term, but Hayden has been with Dairyland Sports since literally day one. Before we even were a nonprofit, and we started our first Dairyland games for adaptive track and field. Um, Hayden might not know it, but we really value his contributions to Dairyland Sports, his commitment to always being there, always trying hard, always getting involved, and he is the epitome of what we are about at Dairyland Sports. So I know that's a lot, but Hayden is very special to our organization, and this was something we wanted to give back and make sure he was recognized. So.
congratulations. I hope you enjoy. And so we have a second surprise donation as well. Unfortunately, Trayson was not able to be here today due to some medical issues, but I did just want to give him a shout out. And yeah, no, I'm sorry. Okay, yeah. So is his wheelchair basketball chair here? So that's an example of a sports chair. But yeah, Trayson will be receiving a custom wheelchair basketball chair so he can keep doing his thing on the court. Yeah. All right, I'm going to turn it back over to Jake.
All right. So time for the fun part. We're going to try all of this equipment out. We are going to break down some of the field chairs, the race chairs, wheelchair tennis. We're going to set up some of that stuff in the turf field so that you might have an opportunity to try it. We will not use the real shot put, please, or the javelin. Okay. They are dangerous. So we might use tennis balls or baseballs or something you can find. Austin will be there to kind of lead the show, and if you have any questions about some of the field events or track events, we'll answer those questions for you. We have USTA here as well, so U.S. Tennis Association Midwest representative. She's brought a mini net over there, some rackets. And then you can take a look at that sport chair as well, because wheelchair basketball is very similar to wheelchair tennis. There is a ton that goes into wheelchair and adaptive tennis. I don't even know the start of it. USTA has been wonderful in leading the charge here in Greater Madison to try and get some programming involved. So that is your resource over there, Miss Judy. Okay. The Hartford has a table as well. Please engage with them, like I said, as well as Skeeter Sled Hockey, which Hayden is a part of, and Paul's Party. We're very fortunate to have them as well. They do equipment donations in the Greater Madison community for junior high and high school athletes in Wisconsin. So they are wonderful. If you have athletes, kiddos who have barriers to accessing sports, I go to bed at night and think about how they fundraise. I have no idea how they do it. They are incredible people, so please talk to them as well. But we just want to say thank you. Please continue to join us. We'll break down into stations now, and let's have some fun. So thank you.